Our second question is actually, are the use of VAs worth being in our sales departments? Yay or nay? Only sales departments, not in the YouTube chats. So let's go ahead and start with RJ.
Absolutely not. I use VAs only for lead generation. So if you consider that part of your sales process, sure. But no, for me, I'm going to say it's lead generation only. I only use them for cold calling specifically. And the reason why is because I make it very simple. It's a part of our system where they know exactly what we're asking the sellers. They know their job. They know how to perform it very well. They're quick and efficient with it. And then once it hits the sales team, which is inside of our office, that's where the closing takes place. It's we can touch it, we can see it, we can smell it. It's easy for us to control. I don't think that should be something that you outsource to a virtual assistant. Not that they don't have the skill set, but I just think it's harder for you to manage overall as a business owner.
All right.
That was 45 seconds, Weasel.
That was pretty impressive. I'm not going to lie. I was going to give you a couple extra seconds too. Champ gets a few extra seconds, but you didn't need it. Let's go over to Chris Jefferson. He placed second place in the last round. So CJ, let's go hear your thoughts.
Yeah, 100%. I like a VA in the sales process. I'm going to disagree a little bit with RJ, even though I think he's saying the exact same thing. I do think having a VA at lead gen on the front end of your sales process is really important. I think if you can afford to do that, having somebody that can go out and create a prospect is really what it is. So somebody can create a prospect that can then get over to somebody in your team that can qualify that person as a lead, I think is really important. If you got 100,000 records to sift through, having a VA that can help work through some of that, or multiple VAs, I think is super important to the front end of your sales process because it is scalable and creates a time opportunity. So I 100% would like to have a VA focus on prospecting and lead generation on the front end of the process.
All right, with 5 seconds left to go, not bad. Steve Trang, your 45 seconds.
I like what RJ and CJ said, but I look at the VAs that are cold calling. I don't look at that as a sales process. I look at that as a marketing process, right? I think if the VAs are cold calling a list, people that weren't ready for the call, I consider that marketing. I treat those the same quality as a direct mail call or, another form of marketing, right? Like the texting. So as far as the sales process, I would consider the lead manager and the sales acquisition manager. I would consider those the sales roles. And in those seats, I think you should not have a VA. I think you're looking at the tonality, the conversation, building the rapport. I think these are all integral parts of the sales process. And I think where I see this a lot is with a lead manager that's virtual. This person was suspicious when they called your direct mail piece, when they called you from PPC, when they called you from TV. And the very first touch is an overseas voice. I think that's setting up red flags, and I think that's going to harm your conversion.
Okay. A few seconds over, but I won't penalize you. It's all right. Give you a couple, boss. Eric Brewer, let's go ahead with your thoughts.
100% agree. I think VAs are great for lead generation. And I think a little bit of what Chris is saying, right, is that the beginning of the sales process is really the end of the marketing process. So if you can find a sweet spot where the VA is transferring a potential opportunity to your sales staff and they're able to sift through a bunch of records, that's good. I think one of the reasons we put VAs on cold calling is historically, stateside employees will do it 3 days before they burn out and quit. We've actually started having our in-house ISAs only doing 90 minutes of cold calling per day. And we found that they're actually able to get 5 times the results that VAs were able to get. And by capping it at 90 minutes a day, they stay energized. They don't get burned out. Love VAs for lead gen should be that 10,000 miles away from anything sales related.
Perfect timing, 45 seconds even. And thank you for fixing the camera positioning, sir. We appreciate you on this side. All right, guys, the voting is now open in the chat. And gentlemen, do we disagree or agree with each other?
It sounds like we mostly agreed, unfortunately. So,
yeah, I think. No, go Steve.
Well, again, I just wanted to emphasize, right? Like, I think that cold calling, the way we look at cold calling is just another marketing piece, right? Because the VAs is calling a list that's unsolicited and they're raising their hands. And all we're looking for is someone to say, I'm interested in selling. Even if they say, I'll sell for some ridiculous price, then the lead manager gets to start selling appointments, right? That's the role of the lead manager. Now they're selling, but the VA, their sole job is to just get people to raise their hands, which is the same thing as direct mail, which is the same thing as PPC, which is the same thing as TV.
Yeah, I think the point is for people to make sure to understand the purpose and role of a VA is not to manage the entire sales process, not to do the entire sales process, not to run or manage, your entire business. I think the industry has gotten to a point where a lot of people believe that you should rely too much on a VA. And really, a VA is just really for basic, simple front end prospecting so they can cure up an opportunity for your team. So when I say an opportunity, I mean a lead, that then somebody in that sales process, whether it's an acquisitions person, what have you, has the ability to then go close that. The industry has gotten very VA heavy. A lot of people think that they need a VA to run their entire business, and that's just not the case. So I think we're all kind of saying that at the same time.
And the big risk is if you're having a VA start closing your deals, man, like we spend so much money to get people to raise their hands. And every time we miss a sale, that's costing us tens of thousands of dollars. So don't look at the cost of the VA. Look at what's costing you and lost revenue by having a VA try to close your deals.
Yeah, I don't think anybody should have a VA trying to do a close call whatsoever. If you've got a VA trying to close a lead for you by phone, I think you're making a grave mistake in your business right now, for sure.
Well, do we know anybody in this industry? We're all very well connected. Do we know anybody that's using VAs to actually close deals that runs high volume? I mean, I
No.
guess the one that I hear talking about the most is Carlos.
Yeah, but I think the tough part about that, though, RJ, is that a lot of people who are newer that might see some of this information, they don't know how to decipher that. They just say, hey, get a pre-trained VA, put them on the phone. They can call sellers for you and close, da-da-da-da. And so what we're really all saying is, hey, there's just steps to this process, and a VA shouldn't be involved in that entire step, right? They just really are needed, whether it's marketing, prospecting, whatever, they're only needed really on that front end of your process.
Yeah. So RJ, to your question, high volume. I don't know anyone's doing like, I don't know, with certainty high volume, but I do know a handful of people that are using VAs strictly for closing. And it is for them, it's a higher profitable business. I just don't know if that business is a model that I would want representing my company.
Okay. All right. Looks like that's going to conclude the answers for the second question. As the voting finalizes, it looks like CJ took round 2. So CJ's on the board. And we are now 1-1, RJ Bates and CJ.